Hi everyone, today I have the one and only Marion Brigantia with us. Marion, could you please introduce yourself and tell us about what brought you to Avalon?
Yes, thank you, Ria. So as we said, my priestess name is Marion Brigantia. My original name is Marion van Eupen. I am from the Netherlands, and I moved to Glastonbury to be a full-time priestess. In my former life in the Netherlands, I was a lawyer. That was my profession. And also I worked as a priestess in the goddess temple in Hillegom and was part of the Dutch goddess conference as co-organizer as well. And when opportunity opened, I chose to go to Glastonbury, and it was very much kind of brought into a faster rhythm because of me meeting my current partner, Alistair. And so it was, in a way, love in many ways that brought me to Glastonbury. Both love for serving Goddess as a priestess and love for my partner, Alistair.
How do you experience and express your connection, your spiritual path in Avalon day to day?
Well, it's an interesting journey when you move to Glastonbury. You can have all kind of ideas like, oh, this is going to be wonderful, but it is really daily life. So when I first came here, I still have a part-time job, and I started to build up my priestess work. And I was quickly found out that to make it financially work, because I am financially independent in that way, to be a full-time priestess in real life, you really kind of need more than one strand. So I work as a priestess. I do my biggest offering here is to teach the Brigantia training, which is now started as a retreat, and now is now a 3-year training where I teach priestesses and priests to become priestesses and priests of Bridget and of Brigantia in the year 3. I also teach online the same work and work with fires. I teach internationally, especially in Italy. And my training is going to go to all over Europe as well. So it's going to be in 5 different countries in Europe from next year. So that's very exciting. But that is only one strand. So the other strand was in the early days was especially my tours. So I founded Mystical Earth Tour together with Manon Tromp, and we got more guides in, and then we got less guides, and we're now doing with the 2 of us, with Marisa Picardo and me. We are Mystical Earth Tours. So we're giving tours and walks here in Glastonbury and Avalon, but also further abroad like Stonehenge and Tintagel and all these other places that are interest of people who come to walk the land with us. So that was the second strand I brought in. And then the third strand was maybe when the Goddess Conference was handed over to us by Kathy Jones to me and to Katinka and me. And that was the third strand. So I serve Goddess in many ways, and the fourth strand that has come in very recently is very exciting. Is being one of the co-founders of the cooperative, the Temple of Avalon, which also now has a temple here in Glastonbury that is dedicated to Goddess, but also to the divine masculine, to the gods. And that's a very new, exciting strand. So, lots of work, but really doing what I love to do. Being in service. I started my company calling Priestessing for You, which I meant priestessing for Goddess, but also for all the people. It is really a place of service. But this is what I do here in Glastonbury.
I know you've already been talking about the Goddess and the Divine Feminine, but what does the word Goddess What does the energy of the divine feminine mean to you? Do you see it in a specific way or in many different ways? How do you see her?
Yeah, how do I see her? How do I feel her, really? For me, that is. How do I experience her? So for me, I experience her mostly in nature. That is always my first entry into connecting with Goddess. I come from a spiritual path, from a Catholic background, even the pastoral school. So I was always into spirituality and the divine. But with Goddess, I really found her back in nature, in all of life, really, in everything around me that is alive, and how that resonates with me. And you can say, is that Goddess? Is that divine? Is that great spirit? I think it is for us to see how we name that. You know, I'm not really attached to anybody. I can easily speak to people who call this energy great spirit or the divine masculine, or any way they come into this connection. I think it is very much about connection. As I said, the first connection for me is about connection with nature. Connection with myself is for me like a next step, and then from that connection to connection with other people. How do I relate to other people? And in all that, my divine feminine, which is most prominent for me, but I'm also really bringing in the balance with divine masculine at the moment in myself, which is kind of a new way for me, because yes, I have come in from from Christianity, but there also I didn't see God as a man on a cloud or anything like that. For me, there was an energy, and it was mostly the energy of love. So that energy of love comes through everything: the energy of creation, the energy of compassion, kindness, and also the whole cycle of life. That's for me very Goddess. So that is one part of how I perceive Goddess. And then you have the more physical form in which we work with the Goddess Conference. Is that we kind of create a shape of a form, almost like a puzzle, where we kind of bring her into form, into manifestation. Like next year, it's going to be Sovereign Goddess of Avalon. So that is a name, a form, a manifestation. But that can be different for everybody. I can have a completely different feel and experience of that as you, Ria, for instance, or anybody. So then we're going to see how does that give shape in our lives, how do we relate to it, how does that energy come through in our interaction with other people. So it's always an exploration of connection and relationship. How do you relate to, when we call her tribal star queen or moon maiden or sun lover or earth mother? What does that mean? And so it's never like this is how it is and this is how you need to see it. It's like an invitation to see, okay, so there is this beautiful divine energy, which you also could call love or creation, but if you put it in a more manifested form, how do you relate to it? And I think that is the journey, and that journey teaches us about ourselves and about our relation to nature, our relation to other people. So it's always that dance with Goddess and with the divine or spirit.
It's like a fingerprint, and so even if there is a theme like the Sovereign Lady of Avalon, everyone sees it differently, and when everyone meets at the conference, it's so interesting to see everyone's different idea of what that looks like.
Yes, and we invite, especially this coming year, but we always do this, but we very explicitly invite people to bring their own experience. And It's not like we saying this is how it is. We are only expressing how we connect with her, but we are also inviting and welcoming all different experiences and expressions of the goddess. So it's not a lady, it's the sovereign goddess of Avalon.
The sovereign goddess of Avalon, sorry.
That's okay.
Thank you so much for your time, Marion. That was
You're
such
very
a
welcome.
beautiful interview, and on behalf of everyone that watches it, thank you. And thank you for all you do for the Goddess Conference.
Thank you.